Hi, man. So, um, that how about let's go to a map better than the map that we found. Oh man, I think this is a better spot. 902. Oh man, I got you a gun. It's like a sniper, but if you shoot somebody in the head, you can get them down, I think. It could be a good gun. There's some shield where I was. There's some shield. Come on. Fourth round. Alright, come on, let's go. Gotta stop playing around. Oh. Why do you keep throwing that? Why'd you keep throwing those? Alright, let's go somewhere else. I hope our teammates are not down. Oh, our teammates is down. And I guess that I hope our teammates are down. Bowman, we gotta. Oh, you already opened yours. Okay, then I'll open mine. Okay.
It's not always the same.
Okay, well, Nothing to Say has a bit of a stack. Not the biggest we've seen, but this will be a nice, juicy Echo Slam for him. Didn't feel as good as I thought it would, if I'm being honest, but he'll get some nice farm at it nonetheless.
The sound plays a big role.
It really does.
It's just not really the same when you echo the ancient key.
It's kind of an interesting thing that we've been seeing, though, because you can't really contest this if you're the other team, because if you get in the middle of this, it's just going to add to the echo.
Yeah.
But all you can really do is try to steal the farm beforehand, which they did quite nicely. Amar, though, the recipient of this gank from Tidebound, that is an easy kill for Faith Beyond. They even find a lowly Snake King, gets glimpsed out of the TP. Double kill for Bach.
Yeah, this is...
He's owning.
Not that there was anything spectacular about that from Y, but I just want to give him a mention here. I think this is his best hero of all time, and even in patches and metas where this hero is not particularly favored, it's a bit of a mixed bag in this tournament. Some teams like this, some teams don't touch it at all. But if Disruptor is playable, why is going to play it? Tidebound have found massive success off of this, and look at him making his next move immediately.
Static Storm right on top of him. Absolutely no response available for Crit. Still only level 5 at the 12.5 minute mark. 8-2 advantage for Tidebound, despite the gold lead basically being even at the moment. And I mean, I can't really look at the XP, but obviously that Wisdom Shrine steal from Falcons was a huge deal.
The thing that's pretty impressive about this is that now Y has been in 7 out of 8 kills, and as you mentioned, they did not get the Wisdom. So he was level 3 at minute 7, and he has still managed to accomplish this much. So a job well done. But side of Falcons, though, things are still completely stable. All 3 of your cores are having at least moderately good games, so they can keep progressing toward their key items. Seeing Amar here with his Mars approach, he is going for the 2 Bracer Soul Rings, same as pretty much everyone else. But he's going Blink. You and I have cast some Marses of, for example, XXS, who bypass Blink entirely until like 3rd or 4th item. Not the case here. Amar wants to play more aggressive and set up his teammates for success. And it might overlap quite nicely with Malreen's Ags, which is about 1,000 away now. So those 2 items would be a strong timing for the side of Falcons, combining that with Crit's soon to be level 6. Big level up.
Indeed. Well, nothing to say, just got his Blink Dagger. We'll see if they get a smoke gank ready to go to reveal that bad boy. Has the Echo Slam up. Still only level 1 though, but can still get a nice kill with the +1. Planet will probably just push this wave and then they'll smoke shortly after, unless they want to continue to just play the slow game. Looks like the Wisdom Shrines will go for each side this time around, and there's the connection with the smoke. Even Shiro coming to play with his Wild Wing.
Yeah, this is an interesting time to smoke. The Wisdom's coming up in 1 second. You're kind of in the middle of the map, so you're not covering them at all, but perhaps that makes this less predictable for the side of Falcons. Malreen will actually break one of them.
Yeah.
They don't know where he is, though.
Now, that's a very nice spot from Malreen.
Yeah,
that is a big
placement.
deal.
They will now try to perhaps invade, but if you're going to invade for the Wisdom now, you're running through the lane through full vision, so not going to be the case.
Yeah, they spot nothing to say. Now they jump on top of them instead. This is the follow-up, though. Snaky coming with a nice Nether Blast. They've already taken out Planet. Nothing to say. Trickling away. The Mortimer's Kisses just hits them in the end. 2 kills for Falcons. Not only thwarting the initial smoke attempt from Tidebound, but absolutely crushing them afterwards.
Yeah, that's just beautiful map
That's the
play.
Blink reveal.
Yeah, it's just an outplay, right? You break the smoke. Malreen seemed aware that the move might be coming, so he took a good position. And as he breaks the smoke, they make their own move, and they get the Blink reveal play. That's, you know, the Shaker was looking for this one. So, a nice move for Falcons. No real objective to claim just yet. We're 15 minutes in, but they keep ramping up.
Yeah, Amar, he wants some revenge. They get the glimpse back into the Static Storm. He's pretty tanky. Doesn't look like reinforcements are coming, though. So will be a kill going the way of Tidebound. And for Shiro, that's 700 away from finishing the BKB. Which for Falcons, I mean, it's essentially Roar is the main counter to the BKB Marcy at the moment. Which, like you said, his Malreen's Ag's about to come now.
There's a bit of cause for concern here. So Timber was just top net worth, and now he is. They're tied for first. This hero is 0-7 this tournament. So if you're doing well, you're just going to give more gold over to the enemy team when your hero inevitably has to lose. So, got to be really careful with that.
What do you think the reasoning with that win rate is?
It's a good question. I don't personally think the hero is particularly bad. So, it's not the biggest sample size, 7 games, but still,
well, it's not the hero's fault. It's the player's fault. Then,
well,
surely.
we cast Bach playing this against Extreme Gaming. That game it didn't work out, but it's, I don't know. I feel like we're going to see this hero a couple more times here on the big stage, and it's going to grab a win or two. The conditions in this game, in my opinion, are pretty good. They did pick it late and have some solid info. Went for the Kaya Sanj and now eyeing up BKB. Started with a casual Ring of Health that he's not converting into anything. A lot of the times you'll see this item used.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's quite rare nowadays, as a matter of fact, to just buy a value ring. But wanted it for the laning.
You could turn it into a Crimson later if you really want to, and against the Gyrocopter, not too bad, but maybe not the most traditional item for a Timber Saw.
Yeah, the more traditional one will be Lotus. Playing against Roar, it's kind of nice.
Smoke revealed. Shiro leading the charge as Crit gets to the high ground, and he's going to get glimpsed back into the arms of Bach and just gets deleted. The Roar counteraction from Malrine. Do they have the damage to cut through Shiro? He pops the BKB and dies instantly. First BKB of the game for him. Amar, though, stuck all alone. He's going to get bursted by Bach as it looks like Tidebound now on the retreat. The buyback came out from Crit in the meantime. So this is now a 4 versus 3 situation. That's a lot of damage from the Chakram from Bach, and he takes out Snake King easily. Now Malrine on the run. This is such a back and forth affair. Gets slowed to a crawl. Nothing to say with the Enchant Totem. As Bach, again, up front and personal. The cookie's not going to hit, but the last proc from Planet is enough to kill off Malrine. So despite losing their carry pretty much instantly, Tidebound able to bounce back quite a bit.
Honestly, that kill on the Pugna was just a beautiful sequencing of skills from Tidebound in that. And yeah, this was in spite of Shiro barely getting to play his hero in that fight. It was a really nice shot call from Malrine to go for the Roar and the burst on there. They had just enough. If they have 10% less damage, Shiro starts getting off multiple volleys of attacks, but not the case. In spite of that, Tidebound definitely coming out ahead regardless. And you're seeing in these engagements so far, Bach is making a good case for Timbersaw. It's massive teamfight impact, and if his offlaner archetype hero doesn't do a lot of damage and you kill the Marcy, you win the fight there.
Yeah.
If he has a traditional offlane control hero like his Centaur that we've seen a lot of. So perhaps part of the rationale here for running this particular hero with Marcy is just that there's a second carry problem. Timbersaw, perhaps one of the... Would you agree it's actually the most carrying offlaner in terms of archetype? Like, I think this sometimes Timbersaw carries games in the off. There's not many offlane heroes that carry.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
That's why Amar used to love it himself. Won many a game on that hero.
Yep, very true. That's the reason our team got second at TI way back when, losing to Faith Beyond, of course. Still bitter about that.
Yeah, he's actually picking this because you're casting to remind you of Moo.
Yeah, those were some classic games. Only a 1K lead for Tidebound. I mean, I don't know about you. I was expecting this to be a very close series, and it's been entertaining thus far.
Yeah, we both agreed the most likely outcome was a 2-1, so I'm sure a lot of people out there share that sentiment, and at this point, 20 minutes in, don't really have any strong favorite for this one, so still keeping it close, and knowing Falcons, they're just getting warmed up. Another 60 minutes to go in this one.
Yep.
I was laughing so much backstage in the green room when I saw they had top 6 longest games of this TI. It's like unbelievable that
all
the
of
same
them over
team,
an hour.
Yeah, they were like all 70 plus.
All right, we have smokes on both sides because Tormentor has woken up.
That's right. They're in.
Well, it looks like this will be Falcons to take. Question is, can they withstand a fight afterwards? Amar gets the shard. And you can see Tidebound still continuing on. The heals are coming. Planet's going to show himself first with the dead shot. Can Falcons retreat, or do they actually want to fight? Amar gets off the rebuke. Instant pierce the veil, though, into the Mortimers. That's an easy kill for Snake King. There's Amar's Arena onto 2. Shiro the BKB. Looks like they might want to retreat, though, as the Disruptor's picked off. So Falcons holding that high ground as now the Roar on top of Shiro. This would be an enormous kill for Amar and company. Beautiful spear into the trees. They got the stun lock. They got the kill on Shiro. 3 dead as Bach tried to save his carry. Now he has to retreat in shame. Has to Nightfall away with the BKB TP. So 3 dead. They lose the shard as well. Falcons coming out way on top.
Honestly, I'm a bit surprised that Tidebound went for that. They might have felt like, okay, they just took the Tormentor, they're going to be low, but you had no vision and no control of the area, and the enemy team is beautifully set up on Falcons there. Having the Pugna to heal up heroes after you take the Tormentor, including the Tormentor heal itself.
Yeah, the fact that they waited for the Tormentor heal to actually go into effect.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, probably right away is the
Exactly. They were just too late, and it's easy to criticize because you're like, okay, you were too late, just call it off. But you feel so invested that you've already run your entire lineup up there that you're really tempted to take the fight. but Falcons were set up so much better, and Mars is just a godly hero in that area when you have the vision.
Oh, look at this, Tiebound. They're going to continue to get aggressive despite this
be a big
BKB still being down for Shiro. Echo Slam right on top of the gyro. Gets feared back. Do they have the damage? It's going to be close, and finally Shiro coming in to finish the job. All 5 members of Tiebound here to watch Skeeter die.
The best hero they can kill. Gyro was...
And this opens up the Roche.
Yeah, and Gyro was close to BKB, so this is such a nice snipe for them to get at this exact moment. The Roche is the icing on the cake, and the reason that they went for it to begin with is if they find a meaningful pick, they know they can turn it into this. So you lost the Tormentor, but you got the Roche and the carry kill.